It's a Sunday evening, and we've got Mahjong, ARML action. Daniel here, going to be joined by Tucker very soon. We're hopping into a B3 game.
I'm not actually convinced that you want me to join you. You're not sharing your screen.
Oh, I
I'm
can do
in
that
the
for you
dark.
really quickly. Boom.
Come.
And wow, you came in
There we
just in
go.
time to see an early con.
It's like they did it just for me.
Very good. Yeah, we've got Quinn in the dealer seat, TJ to the right, Xiangyu across the table, and Anya on our left. Finishing up this Session 4 series, right now Quinn, out of the group, is standing in the promotion zone. Hoping to build on that with an early dealer Ricci, but TJ opens up with the Green Dragon and calls into Tenpai on the Forso, which is the original Dora. No one finds that Sumo. Not many left of those left in the wall, but that's a great start for TJ. Also shuts down what was going to be a very expensive hand from the dealer with a Ricci Dora 2 and an Oncon of a terminal tile for a ton of foo.
It almost certainly would have ended up being at least for Han, though, I feel.
Yeah,
Quinn got another
chances.
interesting hand, though. With a pair of Chun, a pair of Wests, which is an off-wind. Got a Dora that could be usable, but it almost feels like this hand wants to be Toy Toy.
Yeah, the B2 division has been really competitive so far, and a lot of close battles at the top. And the middle of the pack is kind of separated right now, but you're just a couple good first places away from getting up there, so should be really interesting. Yeah, as you said, Quinn already Tenpai.
Is using that Dora, although can't win the hand currently, right? Like, there's no.
You're right.
There's no Yaku. It's going to call Chun is what's gonna happen. It's gonna pawn the Chun and then be Dora Tonki. Toy Toy Dora 2 with the Chun.
Absolutely. Get the Toy Toy as well for, say, Toy Toy, Yakuhai Dora 2. Maybe if you draw the pair yourself, you can even find Sanako.
I would almost discard I would have considered discarding 3-mon there as Quinn. I feel like the even with a 9-mon already discarded, if you do get the Chun, or if you, well, I guess your goal is always going to be to wait on Dora. You're probably just never going to get there.
Yeah, there's also maybe the consideration of just Rinchan. Would you con here for the Rinchan chance?
Well, I guess Quinn decided no. I feel like it's with dealer being open on double east already. I feel like conning and making more Dora available is not something I tend to do. And now that's Tenpai for TJ. Straight half flush double east waiting on the white dragon. No overflow. Well, no mon overflow. There have been honors, of course.
Yeah, this is a Hanuman, 18,000 points if the white dragon comes out.
Currently, we don't see it anywhere. We see 3 of the 1-mons. There's only one of those. Oh, no, there's the white!
Dodged? Oh, but this one cannot.
Don't.
And it's going to be Itsu, double tone, Honitsu, and the door for 18,000 points. TJ sneaks into the lead with 2,000 points to start the game, and then blows it wide open with the dealer Hanuman. That was a spot for Quinn. You have to play for your Toy Toy Yakuhai Dora too, surely. You can't play around this Haku at all.
Especially not having any mon overflow yet. I mean, you see the honors, and so that does make you a little worried, but, you know, on average, it's still going to be, at that point, probably a push. And it's not like the Dora was safe anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are some perfect draws for the Itsu as well, to get that 18,000 as opposed to just 12. TJ is sitting pretty here with the big lead.
Although this hand, the so shape leaves a little bit to be desired. I kind of expect the Monzu to grow and for the 1-2 so to end up leaving.
Around the table, I'm seeing a lot of pairs to the right, although that 7 and 9 shape turns into a 7, 8, 9. So perhaps this can just be a standard Ricci, maybe with the East Shampoo later.
Especially with the 5-6 pin in hand. Like, only having 4 pairs, it really feels like this is going to end up, well, Dora can't always sweat. Well, yeah, discard the 9, so gonna hope to draw around the Dora, but it's not going to be any sort of cheat toy or anything like that.
Not a ton of value in Anya's head across the table, although she must be feeling pretty relieved to have dodged the White Dragon discard in the last hand. On the left, that is coming together for Quinn. Could turn into a Tanya, cutting the 9-pin pair and holding the 6-mon pair in instead.
Very interesting. On the right from Shang Yu, just discarding the 5-pin, 6-pin, drew the 3-so next to the 4-so, and rather than discarding the 2-mon or the East, elected to discard the 5-6 pin. What do you think of that? Oh, there's the punish.
Yeah, this is saying I don't want to rely on Pinhu here. I want to rely on the East instead. And I think it's pretty common when you have a Pinhu hand to just give
Well,
up the Yakuhai pair.
but you didn't have to necessarily do that even. You could discard Tumon because you still have the 778 so. So it's not like discarding Tumon takes away a pair option if you do end up calling the East. Like if you wanted to hard commit to the East, it feels like you could have discarded Tumon and still had a shot there. Oh, Khan into Tempai
Wow.
for Quinn.
No new
Ricci
door.
waiting 5-pin, 8-pin.
Yeah, once so revealed, but that's been discarded by everyone. The big value here is going to be the Uda indicators. It's a good weight, 5-8 pin. It's 3 tiles in the
Only
wall.
3 left in the wall. Yep.
And you got trapped in the middle of cutting from that pin block, stuck with a deal in 5-pin in the hand. Oh, now he shot then. Seems to be folding away here with the 3-so. TJ does not feel like giving those points back. You know, when you see the 7-pin Tadashi followed by 4-pin Tadashi, you might think that the 8-pin's a little safer, but it's not in this case. No, Uda doesn't find any additional value, but a win is a win. You'll take it.
Well, things can continuing to go well for TJ. It seems that's a pretty nice open, not horrible shapes. Got very, especially for an open hand, lots of ways to call there with the pair of Haku.
And of course, dealer with double East. We saw that turned into a very expensive hand on TJ's dealership. Not quite the Honitsu Itsu here, but certainly you can call that for 2 Han.
And can accept Dora as well.
One Dora in the hand to the right. Anya looking for a 3-so to fill in that Dora shape. Outside of that, just probably aiming for a Ricci. I mean, all the blocks are there, but they're mostly bad blocks.
Ishaten across the table for Quinn. Although kind of an awkward Ishanten. Like if you draw 5-mon or 8-mon, you end up with a good weight and a possible Ipeco, but it's Ricci only if you don't get the Ipeco side, if you don't get that pure double sequence.
Yeah, and you know, if you draw the Red Dragon into Tempai, then you've got this 6-mon, 7-mon Champon weight, which is a little awkward.
I almost would have been tempted to. Oh, I guess is playing for the Itsu now, playing for that straight. It would have been interesting, like if you do get the Red Dragon, do you stay at Ishanten for wider acceptance? But dealer has gotten Tempai for their 2 Han hands, waiting 5-pin, 8-pin.
Yeah, as expected, just instantly calling that East. And we see an interesting play from TJ, cutting the White Dragon twice. It's going to be a Tanyao shift.
And there's the red.
Oh, just as you predicted, not going to take this Tempai, wants a little bit more value or at least a better weight.
Home.
Holding out for the Itsu. Or perhaps the 5-8-mon weight here. Call from TJ, just aiming for Tanyao to shut this down. Still he shut down.
We haven't seen any more 5-8s. There's 3 still in the wall.
It's funny, the 7-mon not actually adding any additional acceptance, or rather, any more acceptance than the 4-mon does, because all the 8s are gone. Do we switch? No, we'll just stick with the 5-8. the downsides of cutting the 5 to wait on the 6-9 pin is that you've just discarded everything you've drawn up to this point. That swapping reveals some information about the status of your hand.
Yeah, it telegraphs things a little bit. Whereas this switch is a lot less easy to see. Like this 2-so feels like a very good trap. You see 2-3-so in the pond. You have a 5-so in your discards. People probably aren't going to be worried all that much about 2-so. Although we see that they're kind of held up in the moment in Anya's hand.
Yeah, outside of being the Dora, that's the only reason why you might not see that come out. We do have a Tempai crossway for Quinn, who actually declined a Tonki Tempai and got rewarded
Khan.
with the Itsu draw.
Ooh,
Oh
there's a
no!
con.
That would have been Ring Shot.
Man.
2 pins all held or discarded, so Quinn not the best odds to win, unless Anya chooses to fold against what the dealer is showing.
Ooh, that's going to be Tempai for TJ. Waiting 3-6, which do we see all of them?
Anya's just holding all
No,
of the
there's
dealer
one
tiles.
There's one more 3 in the wall.
They should find a safe one so to get out of here. Loses 3,000 points, but there wasn't much else to do in that hand other than fold. And Xiangyu will retain the dealership.
Ooh.
I like this. Just 5 pin. Honitsu is going to be in the Pinzu, so
Yeah, you could also still Chanta. Dora's 9-so, so if you do go Chanta and draw one, you could just kind of hang on to it.
oh wow, that's just instant Tenpai from Anya. Richi Tanya with Saranko chance on Sumo.
That's incredible.
And how do you
might
defend?
as well discard 1-so here. I mean, red is safe, but like, how long do you expect to be able to play safe? I guess it is the Ipatsu turn.
I was just gonna say I kind of like the pass of the non from Xiangyu because he really wanted to draw a tile to send his hand in one direction or the other, and so
Ooh, and there's a West.
that's gonna encourage him to fight, I'm sure. That draw
Keeps
too
drawing. North?
makes sense. Anya's weight is completely live in the wall. It's actually incredible for a shot block.
It helps when the Shabo's early.
That's true. Quinn actually Tempai now on the Green Dragon. So also lighting up, that won't give a Yaku. The problem is that's paired up in Xiangyu's hand.
Yeah, the Mochi Mochi. Kind of troublesome there.
Sumo.
Oh, and there's the Sumo! The Sananko realized. So that's Mongon minimum. Oh, it's Tanya. Oh, wow! Gets 3 Ura on the 7 pin. All of that dodging Anya's been doing rewarded. The big payoff in East 3 there.
Oh, that's incredible. And, you know, that is the sort of lifeblood of a defensive player. You don't deal in when you don't have to, and you wait for your big shot. And that was Anya's chance there. Ura-san for the Baimon, and now she gets her dealership.
I don't know that I would typically call Anya a defensive player though, unless she's changed since the last time I've watched her play.
Yeah, well, certainly this game she's been on the defensive side of things, so
Has done a very good job with it too.
He showed that already as the dealer. No,
really want to draw the 3-so for sure.
Not only would that be a better end weight, but also gives you the value of Pinshu as well.
If you draw 6-so, do you call Ricci or do you discard the Pinchon?
I personally, this early, because the 6-so gives me a 4-tile shape, I like breaking the Tempai and just cutting 1-so, 2-so. But I know there are plenty of advocates for just taking this early Ricci.
And it's actually going to cut the Pinchon on the Anko draw with the 6-mon pull there.
Yeah, this is really optimistic about drawing towards that upper shape. Another little trap you can do is, if you do draw the 6 or 9, so now you can slam the Ricci waiting on the 1-so, which looks really safe once you've cut 2-so, 5-so from your hand.
Ishan 10 for Shangyu on the left.
Pay Dora 1 with the value. That early call of the Northwind as we were swapping perspectives.
There's Tempai for TJ, waiting 3 pin, 6 pin.
Oh,
has the
this.
East concealed.
Yeah, Anya has some reason to hold on to the 7 pin. Normally it doesn't fit that well, and now she's really going to have to hold on to it as we see the Ricci on the right.
So 4-so, 7-so also deal in tiles now.
동.
Okay.
Oh, but now the 7 pin comes out.
Yeah, that's not the worst result. Pay out 2,000 points. Avoid the Ricci player from summoning a big hand on your dealership. I think because that was a Dora tile Ricci, it's a little less likely that the 7 pin is going to deal in, even as the Dora indicator. Because if you had 2 8 pins in your hand, usually you'd keep them as a pair. Now maybe if you're holding like a 5-6-8 shape, you'd sacrifice the Dora in favor of holding for the Pihu, but in the end, the 7 pin did pass the Ricci player and only dealt 2k. Oh my goodness, another
Oh, a
Ricci.
great draw. And now we have another Shabo, though this time, despite it being early, there's only one tile left on the wall.
Yeah, this is really funny. Quinn, not a cultist, I see. Could have waited on the Suji trapped 3-so.
I feel like that's what would have done regardless of cult membership.
Yeah, that might
just because.
I wonder. This 2-so is also a very good weight in terms of how sneaky it is. How often do you start with 9-so, 6-so, 4-so, be waiting on the 2-so on turn 3?
Yeah, also discards kind of at some point you end up saying, you know what, I'm just gonna, as a defensive player sometimes, you're just like, I have no evidence at all that anything is really safe in my hand. I might just discard so tiles because it looks like that's where they were discarding from.
Well, that's a Tempai.
That's 7 pin. Is that Tempai? Yeah, 3-mon, 6-mon?
Yeah, go for it. Gonna Dama here.
Doesn't call Ricci.
Saves a stick. This is a big hand, though. Ricci, Tsumo, Tanya, Dora.
Great hand to get you right back into the thick of things.
Absolutely. So, early advantage to TJ was a bit diminished after Anya's Baimon, and the deal-in that Quinn had has now been erased by an Oyamangan Sumo. Wow, that's a great draw.
Really? What do you discard?
Oh, this is greedy. We saw Quinn aim for that Itsu and the Pinzu in an earlier hand in this game.
Could also still get 3-4-5 Sanshoku. It's not particularly likely, I suppose. I feel like with the 5-so in hand, the 3-4-5 Sanshoku would have been a little bit more live. Now just a Kutsuki Ishanten.
Yeah. And, chance at Itsu, chance at just drawing around the 5 pin and slamming another Pihu Ricci. Very strong for dealer, and I'm not sure anyone has something that can easily compete with this.
Well, but this is interesting too, because with this set of discards, if I saw Ricci turn 6 from Quinn here, I would entirely expect like a T-Toy or something. Like these discards do not feel like a Pinfu hand. Like that does not feel like where these discards are headed. I mean, you've discarded a 5 in literally every suit in the first row. That's not normally Pinfu behavior.
This is really interesting.
Still might not be, but
Quinn accepting the second 5. Oh, well, that's Tempai. Not the Tempai you were looking for. It could be Tonki, or you could take the Kanchan 7-so. I like not accepting that Tempai. It's just not good enough. I might have even...
Well, did accept the Tempai, just didn't call Ricci.
Didn't reach yet. This is so flexible to find a better weight.
Gonna draw a White Dragon, then Ricci. Yeah. Ooh, this would be good.
Good enough. Now, we've had some time for the players to build. It's just they haven't gotten that close. I guess Toyman Xiangyu is the closest to finding a Tempai. Anya tried to open up for a Tanyo.
Well, and Xiangyu could open even for 789 Sanshoku.
Yeah, you saw him holding on to that one, so just in case, but TJ didn't have a lot to work with. Tries the 1-mon terminal tile, deals into only 2,000, 140.
The gaps in general just kind of shrinking here. All of those massive wins we've seen so far. I mean, we've seen 3 hands, I think, that were 12,000 plus. for the game to be this close with that much movement is pretty wild.
Yeah, look at this early cut from Quinn. West West. Just, I don't want this non-value pair in my hand. Give me something else.
Only has 4 shapes.
It turned out that the other two Wests came out instantly, so those tiles were probably going to leave the hand anyway. Assuming we didn't draw around the 7 so.
5 pairs now across the way for Zhang Yu. So Ishantin for Chitoy is what that means.
The other hands on the right, TJ can open up with the Red Dragon, but not a lot of value there. On the left, Anya has already opened up for Tanya with 2 of the Tumandora.
And Zhang Yu did pass the non-pawn, so is for now drew a third 8 so. I bet if another but both of the non are discarded now.
Oh,
it was like
yeah.
1 turn too late. I almost feel like you shouldn't even hold the 8. Well, it doesn't matter. Drew into Tenpai anyway.
Yeah, although the White Dragon would be a much better weight. Now we're going to regret it because almost certainly Quinn would have dropped that on Ipatsu turn.
East is pretty good.
East is
I
very
like
good.
the East.
Anya now with some choices to make. Can't really defend that well, so tries half Suji 5-pin.
Is Ishantin.
Yeah, when you're this close to Tenpai and you don't have save tiles, just fight.
Another half Suji decision there for Quinn.
Yeah, that 6 is just farther away from the door than the 4 mon is. Another thing Anya might be hoping for with that 5-pin cut is that someone tries the Suji 8-pin and she gets to call into Tenpai. The problem being Xiangyu has them paired up, and so that will never come to fruition. Now the 3 mon has been paired up. It's just the route to Tenpai is actually extremely limited now for Anya.
TJ building such an interesting hand on the right has the 4, 5, 6, 7, and so is really thinking about calling this for the 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku and does. Couple different ways to get there from this point.
Yeah, Quinn finds Nakasuji 4 mon, and Anya's going to try to get out of here. Tenpai.
That's Tenpai. Gotta discard 4 so. Does. So that's Tanyao Sanshoku.
It was nice to get that a little bit of extra value there. It does need 5 8-pin, and currently the 8-pins are held by Anya, although she is running out of tiles to try. 8-pin might be the next on the list. Maybe 3-pin first.
Yeah, 4-pin looked sketchy. Decided to keep Tenpai, but discard a safe tile in the 6-pin.
Yeah, 6 mon comes out for Anya. Also has 1 mon. Oh, Dora. Yikes.
Home.
TJ will try the 3.
Dong.
Oh,
and there's the East.
Finally drawn.
Took so long.
It did. That pawn actually prevented the Tsumo from happening.
So it ends up being the same loss either way for Quinn there.
Yeah. That's the dealer.
Oh wow. This is one of those hands where I really get unsure about Honitsu or not.
Home.
Like you have if the so shapes feel like you have so much there, but all of your honors are isolated. You've got a Ryanman as like your only 2 tiles out of suit.
And I think you don't force the Honitsu in this situation. We have paired up the Hatsu. If we also pair up the Haku, then we can consider it, but I think it's more likely we just speed our way to the victory.
We can always discard 2 mon to hedge a little bit at some point.
I don't mind the 2 mon to start. Already an early call on the left from Quinn, aiming for the south call. We are in the south round, so that will be a Yaku.
Can kind of accept Dora. It doesn't really fit in hand currently. We also have the Chun call across the table from Anya.
Yeah, TJ giving some careful thought decides I'll grab the Forso, and if I continue to draw Sozu, then I'll go for Honitsu.
There's another so.
Yeah, that's not the one that we really wanted to convince ourselves, but we were two away from Tempai, and that's good enough.
With one green dragon already discarded, since you have opened, committing yourself to just a pure Atazuke feels a little weak.
Mm.
So I kind of like the Honitsu shift since you've decided to open at this point.
Yeah. Once you call open, there were.
We could take this.
Yeah, that's not bad. It does make it a little bit
Gee.
harder to use the Green Dragon as anything other than our pair, but you know what? Winning the hand is most important.
In Akanashi, I feel like I know I've said. Oh,
That's
a
the
temp
seven
feather,
mine
right?
came in hand for Quinn, dodge, and then it immediately is the next tile on the wall for TJ there.
Shove you next up.
Just your classic 6 distinct terminals and honors and no good shapes hand. Oh, I guess the four so had been drawn, so one good shape. I take that back. Formon Dora we see is being used on the left by TJ, and the other players all keeping tiles near Dora to accept it. I'm kind of interested in Anya's hand on the right. A lot of honors and a weird configuration of pin tiles.
Hmm.
Has discarded 3 consecutive Mon. Is maybe saying this hand's going to be slow no matter what. It might as well be valuable too.
Yeah, and there was like trying to hedge as much as possible, starting with the 8 Mon because she had the 5 Suji, give up the terminal 1 Mon. It wasn't until she drew the 5th honor that she decided to force
Home.
the Mitsu.
Home.
These players
And we
are not afraid to open up their hands here.
no, not at all.
And it makes sense. Anya and TJ right now battling for position here, going to all last. They want to have the lead going into the final round of the game. So TJ angling for a Tanya Dora 1 or more. And Anya trying to find a route to make this one into a reality.
TJ, of course, discarding the 8 Mon from that 7-8 shape to prevent an Atazuke situation, just keeping the 5-7 Kanchan instead. Can only win on the 6 either way.
Now, if there's a Ricci from dealer or one of the other two players, Anya is going to have the advantage in terms of the number of save tiles in her hand. But
Which I imagine is part of what drove her to make this decision to go for to kind of hard force this far off half flush.
yeah, TJ should have the advantage in speed, and he does get Tempai here. Waits on the 6 Mon.
Gee.
And Xiangyu will open up trying to match the speed here. Sign it's getting too late.
This could be a little dangerous for Shangyu. On a lot of draws, I feel like this 6 Mon will end up leaving the hand.
Oh my, that's that wide Ishan 10 has the like Sonoko
What?
confirmed. Depending on how you get Tempai, I mean you can always choose the Sonoko route, it just might not be as live. And there's a second door for TJ. That's a big draw. It improves the weight and the value. Xiangyu not pleased.
We could have saw a deal in there on 7 Mon Pon, discard 6 Mon for 6-0 Tempai.
Oh, this is gonna deal in.
Don't.
Yep.
There weren't that many draws that caused the deal in there, but drawing around the Kutsky is so definitely one of them, and that will give TJ the advantage.
As dealer, it's easy for Anya to make up the difference, but it's hard to hold on to. Like, it's the weird thing about no Agarayame, where, most of the time you are going to end up in South 4 as all last dealer, losing the dealership by some sort of loss. Like,
Right.
it's so easy to get sumoed out if it's tight. So Anya probably wants to win like one big hand or at least 2 smaller hands to pull ahead and create distance. And this is a very good hand for doing it.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity with the 6-9 so shape. You can accept the Dora, get Tanya Pinfu Dora as dealer. Richitsumo, that's a manga. Find an Ura Hanemon. for dreaming. We can go super big.
I think Shang Yu gets points for biggest streamer at the table currently. Appears to be discarding for Kokoshi. It's perhaps just looking at like, this hand sucks. If it becomes Cheetoy, it becomes Cheetoy. If it becomes Kokoshi, it becomes Kokoshi. I'm just out. It's not gonna be the Mangon that they need regardless.
Yeah, it's a bit of a race now, also between Xiangyu and Quinn for third place. Kokoshi usually doesn't win that race, but if it ever does hit, it hits in a big way.
Ishantin now for Anya.
TJ draws the Onko of Green Dragon. Ishanten for him as well.
And can just Dama. Can open, can Dama. Ooh, there's a Ricci.
Oh, and might be in a little bit of trouble here. If you try to fight a little bit with 2 so and then 1 so, you could find yourself dealing in. That's a pair of door, though. It's hard to not fight.
Well, and you have so little information. Half of the discard. Oh well, it's just gonna be a sumo anyway.
And just depot Sumo, and that's gonna be enough for Quinn to take over into third place. Reach
2 Euro would be over 30. Oh man.
Yeah, there was a world there. Hit the Formon as the UDA indicator, and all of a sudden you're finishing with a positive score. Not meant to be in this case, but it will be a negative 10.5 save from Quinn. Xiangyu will eat the fourth here, minus 22.4. Anya had a nice Baimon to come back into this game after defending for the majority of it, plus 9.2 for her. And TJ, a couple really nice hands there, especially that Itsu, Honitsu, with the Dora and all the goodies. Double tone as well for 18,000 points as dealer. That will lock up first place for him. Plus 23.7.
A pretty quick game too. Just over 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And
I
they
was gonna
start
say.
and they started basically right away. 3 minutes until the next round. And we see the standings have updated. Quinn now 3 out of promotion. Just barely slid out.
Let's get a better look at those standings. There we go.
A big win for TJ. I mean, there's a lot of games left, but getting a first when you're right there on that demotion line is always huge for morale at the very least.
Absolutely. And you know, the cut lines when it comes down to it, and honestly, we're getting really close. This is the end of round 4, so only 8 more games after this next one finishes.
And these are tight. Like,
right.
It's a low promotion line and a low cut line. Like, it has not been. I mean, Michael has a nice plus 204 there, but this has been a pretty tight. Oh wait, this is my division.
Yeah, this is
I didn't
your
even
division.
realize. I did not cognize that at all. I was looking at this. I was like, man, this is really tight. Like, this feels familiar. And then I saw my name there. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, I thought when the stream started, I thought that we were actually watching a different division because I had been mentally preparing for a different game. And it was this B2 division that's been really exciting to watch. Yeah, we see up at the top there Jeffrey, Tucker, you, Caden, and Pio. And then Quinn, right on the cusp.
Yeah, and these are actually, this is the last, this upcoming Hanchan that's about to start is the last Hanchan of Session 4, which makes sense. This is the last day of Session 4, but it feels like games have been getting played kind of all over the place. I've lost track. I know the games that start at in 48 minutes are Session 3 games, so things have been kind of all over the place this season. I feel like all of my tables have played their games like 3 weeks early, it seemed.
Yeah, we can even see here, there are a few players that have played 20 games rather than the 16. I assume with Thanksgiving week being this week, that players have been trying to get those games in out of the way before the holidays. Also could be some travels. I know the European Championships are happening very soon, and some players might be traveling out to Spain to play in those. So if you're making a long-term vacation out of it, you want to get those Marvel games out of the way. It's really nice that
Oh,
the schedule is flexible.
this hand might be a long-term vacation. TJ opening up with 3 Dora in hand.
Wow, if you could start this game with another dealer Mongon or Hanuman, you would certainly be comfortable for the rest of this. That would be a great way to open things off here.
Is not having the best draws, but only started off with 4 shapes to begin with. Still, I mean, there's technically 5 shapes now if you go 4, 6, 7, 9, but you're really expecting to draw next to one of those other 4s. There is the 5 mon though.
Oh, a choice to be made now. Do you play for that 7-8 Kanchan, 7-9 rather, in the Mansu Kanchan, or do you hope to draw around one of these 4s?
Ooh. That's not the decision I expected. Oh, I guess the pairs were hard to draw into, but we have such an early Ricci there. Chitoy waiting 9 mon. Oof.
Oh, and with this early 8 Mon too, you could see it come out. I mean, especially TJ wants to fight this hand.
Absolutely. Was the 9 pin ended up being quite the blessing there because the 7 pin was also safe and you were already on track to discard it.
And you can see with these shapes now, TJ doesn't want to drop this 9 yet. Oh, but that 6 means it's
Oh,
probably
now
coming out soon.
Yeah, that's rough.
Oh, well,
I mean, you still probably drop 9 mon over 4 pin or 4 so, right?
the 6 actually might be safer than the 9 here. Just playing efficiency.
Well, now it is. That absolutely helps, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it makes...
The 4 pin was definitely safer than either of those Mon tiles. So
you
that
see
was
3 2 pin in discard, yeah.
that was a really good play, and now could even find Itsu. 8 Mon is safe.
What do you do if you draw 3 mon here?
Oh wow. Because the 1 Mon's you just have to take the
Ricci
147
discarding
away.
4 so?
Yeah.
Oh, but that works.
Eat.
You have to reach no Yaku here. You'd love to snipe the 3-6, but gonna have to slam.
I mean, there's almost no way the other hand has more value than you. I mean, you're a dealer, it's Akanashi, you can see 3 of the Dora.
Yeah, and even if it was just one of those options and none of the other two, you'd probably still slam. Even if you didn't have any of those options, you might just slam because you're dealer.
You know, a comment. Oh, I was just about to say we haven't seen a single other 9 mon drawn since the Ricci. But there it is.
You sort of willed it into existence, and you will shut down the Dora 3 hand from dealer.
Wow.
How about that?
Although shut down doesn't even really feel like the right word since it was a turn 4 Tempai. Like, it really feels like dealer was trying to shut you down.
Yes, true. You dodged the dealer rebuttal.
And another decent hand here has a Dora, can call the Haku, and then just has to choose which shape to get rid of. Probably the one so two so. We had an early pay pawn from TJ on the left.
Yeah, that's Yakuhai for TJ. Could be thinking about what needs. The problem is you've got a complete sequence in the Sozu and a 5-5-6 in the Monzu, so it's hard to decide to drop an entire block for the value.
Oh yeah. For now, probably gonna discard an honor and keep that nice Nakabukure shape.
If you drew
Before
Hatsu,
5-5-6.
if you were TJ and you drew Hatsu, would you cut the 5 mon for Tempai, or would you get greedy?
I would absolutely cut the 5 mon for Tempai. I would not even consider being greedy. Personally.
Home.
Yeah, we're not going to have that option. The Hatsu is paired up elsewhere. Anya opening up for Yakuhai, hoping for more.
I really like this Ishan 10 for Shangyu. And there's going to be Tempai. Waiting Dora plus 8 pin. We see 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 left in the wall. 3 of them are Dora.
Chi. Sumo.
3, 6.
nice.
Oh!
It's so nice when the tile you really want is the one that's most live.
Well, and that tile was passed to them by the Chi there.
Yeah, TJ working towards Tempai. Oh, wow. These draws. He shot that already.
We have seen some fast hands at this table.
Yeah, especially this dealer. Oh, and it only gets
what
better.
Good upgrade.
was gonna say that five
Perfect Yushan
seven,
Ten now.
yeah, 5 7 7 8 overlap. Not the strongest.
Home.
So since there's overlap, would you instead call this like semi-perfect Yushan Ten?
I think most most people define perfect Ishanten as just an Ishanten that gives you good weight no matter how you get into Tempai. And I think that holds true here. So even though it doesn't give you the maximum tile acceptance that, say, holding a 7 7 8 pin would and a 4 5 so, certainly, no matter how you draw to Tempai, you'll have a good weight. So I think
The nice thing
justified.
about overlap though is that even though the hand's a little bit less efficient, you do that does give you the possibility of drawing into this on Menchon, drawing the 6-0, discarding 7-0, and having the 3-6-9 weight. We do have a Ricci across the table from Anya, waiting 2-mon, 5-mon.
I drew
Is
the
that Ricci only?
oh,
Oh no,
Ricci Dora
Dora.
one. Did draw the ideal Monzu connector to get the extra value here. It has 5 tiles in the wall, so pretty good odds at Etsuo. Love this swap
I
for.
Yeah, that was beautiful. We started saying the same thing at the same time.
It's so easy to just lock yourself into the shapes as you see them in your hand to forget that you've got Sanmenchan this way too, just in the pinzo.
4-0, 7-0 Tenpai now for TJ, and that's Chun Dora 1 battling Ricci Dora 1. The South is totally live. We see Quinn still holding on to it.
Oh, that's a tough draw for TJ. Do you really want to toss a tile? The Dora indicator? Yes, is the answer. Valuing his own Tempai.
A little slide there. Now we have Tanya possibilities. Oh, but the sumo.
It'll be Ricci Tsumotora. Ura misses, so just 1,000, 2,000, but gets the Ricci stick back, gets 300 Homa, and that will put Anya back over 30k.
Another decent starting hand. Oh, especially now that 5-pin really helps the possible ways this hand can grow. We have the pawnable Haku. We have the 5-6-7 pin, and then we have a good shape in Mon as well. Holding that isolated Dora, hoping for a pair up.
The right, maybe the makings of an Itsu for Anya. Some awkward shapes though. Might have to call in order to make this hand viable. TJ opens up across the way, calls towards Ishanten for Chundora 1. Can't call into Tempai right here.
Chi.
Waiting 3-pin.
Chi.
Ooh, and we have another open. Gonna go assumedly Atazuke here. Oh, it is immediately. Never mind. It's not Atazuke if you immediately get it.
Yeah. Quinn has shown a tendency to accept this Atosuke very eagerly.
Hmm. 5-set is kind of an interesting draw there.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a part of me that kind of just wants to throw it back.
right? Because the 2-3 is an excellent shape to wait on in the Monzu Class A Diamond, because it waits on a terminal tile, which is harder for other players to use.
We do see one 8-pin already discarded. Perhaps that's why the 6-7 ended up getting cut. But the 7-set was not discarded until after, I believe.
Yeah, it's similarly a 5-pin in our own call, so just 2 fewer tiles for the 6-7 shape, 6-7 pin shape than the 5-6 shape.
Shang Yu called Ricci waiting on 8-pin. That's Ricci Nomi. We do see the 3-so push from TJ. It would have been very hard to play a sustained defense. Had one turn of safety, but then had to abandon. Oh, the 4-so immediately deals into Quinn, who just opened up, or not opened up, made their third call for Tenpai.
And so not a terribly expensive hand for the dealer, but it will allow the repeat and prevent Shang from winning that Ricci.
Anya immediately calling her Seat Wind and promptly discarding the Dora Shah there.
Matching dealer's first cut Dora discard.
Classic. Who needs Guest Wind Dora?
Couldn't be me.
You just learned that Guest Wind Dora is going to hurt you eventually.
You just hold on to one of those guest Windoras, and then the person whose seat it actually is pulling a pair, waiting for you to drop it.
Just don't even give them the chance to pair it up. Ooh, this is pretty. We have a oh wait, no. Yes. Another perfect Ishanten here for Quinn as dealer. Not going to get the row 1 Ricci, but we'll probably be Tenpai soon. We do have a 6-mon Tenpai on the right for Anya.
Yeah, not many of those live in the ball, but you're really expecting to improve this weight before you get to Tenpai. I mean, before you win the hand. Of course, are already Tenpai here, and that's great opportunity.
We
you
actually
can chi that
we actually
2-5.
we actually do see all of the 6-mon.
Yeah, the last one just drawn by Xiangyu. That's
And
another way
they're
to
all
call.
being used. Adding the 3-mon here makes this actually possible to win. Only 2 of those left on the wall, though.
Quinn just sitting here waiting for the drawn to Tenpai. It's perfect Ishanten. It shouldn't take that long, right?
Doesn't perfect Ishanten on average take 6 turns to get to Tenpai?
I see 6 Tsumogiri. Oh, and
So
there's one called as well.
empirical evidence
Each.
suggests. All right, Suji trap on the Ricci child, waiting on the 3-so.
This could be tragedy. Quinn draws into Tenpai now and will chase with the 3-so.
롱.
Took one turn too long to get to Tenpai, and that's going to be Ipatsu there. No Uda, so only 2,600. Game's still pretty tight.
It's enough to flip position there, for now at least.
East 4. Another reasonable looking hand for dealer. It feels like every time we look at the dealer hand, I just feel optimistic about their chances.
Like, there haven't been, it doesn't feel like at all, very many, like, crummy dealer hands.
Yeah, it's not like the dealers won more hands than any other player. It's just their high pipe looked better.
Well, and I feel like the ability to fight these really good high pie that the dealers have had has come from all of the calling. I mean, all 4 of these players have been opening pretty aggressively. I haven't been keeping good track of who on average is getting skipped by all these calls, but
Yeah, that's one of the hidden parts about calling is that it skips other players' draws and leads to maybe that hand that's getting skipped building a little bit more slowly. Oh, there's Ishanten. So this Ishanten is a little awkward in the sense that it doesn't have Pinshu. Doesn't have Pinshu yet.
TJ's hand looks much closer than it is. I almost expected a chi there on that 8-pin, but draws the 3-so. So Ishanten now.
Can call into Tenpai here. Tank,
Anya
tank,
could have
tank.
discarded 6-so for a perfect Ishanten on that 3-mon draw.
Yeah, that's a good point. Perhaps likes the idea of drawing 4-so or 7-so to work towards Pinshu.
After all the calling we've seen, I'm really surprised TJ didn't make that call that you were suggesting on the 3-mon.
Yeah,
Not that you were suggesting it, that you observed
was possible. I think TJ in this score position wants more. Wants that Ricci. We saw after he won the 18,000 point sumo, he was very eager to call, but maybe down here in 3rd place wants to be able to slam a Ricci for additional value.
And with a guaranteed Tanya out here, regardless of how Tenpai is achieved, you're on Ricci, you're gonna have 2 Han minimum.
Anya's been stuck in the Ishanten just like Quinn was. Their dealership. That is a helpful tile and declines it.
Ricci.
That was not expected, and Anya will, well, slam the Ricci. 1-mon, 4-mon. It really looks like it's waiting around the 6 just because there's been such a long string of Tsumokiri and then the 6 discard.
1
All right, now we have the chase, waiting 2 pin, 5 pin. 1 mon, 4 mon, 2 pin, 5 pin.
Does Xiangyu fight here?
Done.
Plays Suji, or plays Genbutsu to the second Richi, the chase Richi, but that will deal in to dealer's Richi Nomi.
Does not end up being very expensive because it was only the Richinomi, but still, that brings you all that much closer to the person in second.
A reasonable hepai for dealer. I'm looking to the right though.
Wins?
Wins. I see a possibility. South is all in the wall. Oh, I sorry. Outside the one that's been cut. So 3 in the wall. These east start to die too quickly though. Dream will be dashed. I return that. Xiangyu holds on to this east is another chance for TJ to pair it up.
I'm really interested in what exactly TJ is aiming for here.
Yeah, if you don't...
other than hoping for wins, like what when the wind plan eventually falls apart, what are you expecting to happen?
With multiples of non-value honors, in particular, wins that are not your seat or round wind, a lot of times you force Honitsu if you have 2 pairs. Now, since we have the Anko of one of them, you can just aim for a Richi.
But these discards have been so aggressive to, like, it doesn't feel like TJ's just aiming for Ricci here. I mean, that the 4-so discard, maybe because the 2-so was already discarded, wanted to avoid a potential Furton, but the 8-pin even.
It definitely feels like Honitsu. And
but there have been 0 mon draws. Like that, thought in head at the beginning of the hand, I am going Honitsu, has drawn 0 mon tiles. Okay. That's the first mon draw.
That's a really good one to get. I think Anya is actually responding to those cuts by dropping this 8-6 shape. Says, I don't want to be holding this bad Kanchan when someone's hoarding all the Monzu, and it turns out they're not actually hoarding all that many Monzu. They just haven't drawn any.
But that was an incredible draw for Anya as well. I mean, this can be Rion Peiko. This could be 7 pairs. Like, what do you drop here? Do you just take the Chitoi Tenpai?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, because it is Tanyao Chitoi. 6-so's not all that fun of a weight, though. Especially when 3 of them are being held by Quinn on the left. The Ricci on the right ends up being 258 weight. Ooh. That's
not getting too creative there. Just gotta throw that 8-so right back.
An Anko of 5-so and 6-so for Quinn now.
Yeah, depending on how Quinn gets to Tenpai here. Okay, gonna cut the 9 mon. That indicates that you want to keep up the Ankos.
Well, and there we go. Just a nice, clean Ricci Sumo Dora.
Yeah, that stayed so long with the thought of Honitsu in mind, perhaps, but in the end was just the Ricci Sumo Dora. That works perfectly fine for TJ.
And I would like to note that entire hand, TJ only drew 2 mon tiles.
Incredible.
From opening. The 4 mon that made the Sanmenchan and the 8 mon that was the Sumo, I believe. Another like pretty decent high pie here for dealer. TJ this time, the beneficiary of 3 Rionmen, now has a 4th pretty early. Is going to discard the 7-9 Kanchan. Could even see a 4-5-6 Sanshoku in his hand. We see 2 Dora on the right for Zhang Yu. Oh, that's sad.
Oh, that's also sad. You just played Chitoi now? No! Xiangyu says no. That's the ABCs of Mahjong right there. Anything but Chitoi.
With a pair of Chun in hand and a Rionman elsewhere, you really don't feel like you have to force Chitoi. I don't know that I would have Well, I mean, what would have been better to cut than the 6-0 even? Like, this hand just has so many possibilities, especially for opening.
Yeah, the hedge might be like a 3-mon, but then we wouldn't have the Sanmenchan right now, so certainly seems to have paid out. Although I
More
definitely would have kept that 3-so, I think. Because now we're missing out on the 2-so draw into Tempai.
4 pairs now across the way for Quinn. The 4-5-6 dream kind of coming alive here for TJ.
Feels like everyone's worked themselves
There it is.
into good hand.
Each.
Ricci, Pinfu, possible Sanchoku as dealer. A quick, neat Mongon if you get that 6-pin. Or I guess it's not necessary because it's only 20 fu. It'd have to be on Ron.
Oh,
But Sumo would be 5 Han, so you're fine. Oh, yeah. How do you? 3-pin looks very dangerous though.
yeah, very, very dangerous. Wow, it's just 6. Says, I'm in first place. I don't need to take this head-on fight.
Especially against dealer.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 2 Dora in hand, but you're really counting on pawning that. And once dealer calls Ricci, you really don't expect anyone other than dealer to drop it.
Yeah, maybe there's a way we can work ourselves back into a Tempai in the future, but for now, showing you just staying away.
G.
That 2-pin wasn't particularly safe.
Aggression by Quinn. 2-3-4 Sanchoku, too tempting to give up. I understand. I understand.
That's not Tenpai.
Yeah, it's not Tempai. Oh no, this is signaling bad news for Quinn.
Well, but the
Home.
But the 2-pin had already been shown to be safe, so this might actually just be a fold. Because if you're not pushing for the 2-3-4,
G.
do you oh, yep, never mind. I take it back.
Do you still dance? No, 3-pin comes
Don't.
out. It'll be a Ricci Pinku. It is the Yasume. No Sanchoku here.
1 Ura, though.
That's gonna sting a little bit. But yeah, I understand what your thought is here. You know, without the value of the 2-3-4, is it really worth fighting against the dealer reach anymore? I think the answer to that question is somewhat individual because different people have different risk evaluations and whatnot. Comes out a little bit to play style and what you're fighting for in the standings as well.
You know, it's been a good day for dealer high pie when I look at this hand and I'm like, this isn't that good. I feel like I would normally be incredibly happy with this high pie.
Got door acceptance. It's pretty average. And yet, nothing compared to what we've been seeing earlier. Shaggy looking pretty good on the right. He shoved in already, reaching Pinku Tanyao, Ipeko chance.
And there's that Dora that you mentioned. Coming right into TJ's hand.
Quinn is trying to hedge this Dora.
I want to see Quinn end up with the 5-6-7 Sanchoku here. You just really need the slide and pin.
It is doable.
Gotta drop Dora though at some point.
Anya is Ishan Dian Shantan. Awkward all odds in the Manzu.
That feels like it should be its own Yaku.
It feels like it is a Yaku in like American Mahjong or something.
I mean, it probably is.
All odds.
I would love to see Ricci adopt like, I think it's a Chinese Yaku knitted through where you have like 1-4-7 in one suit, 2-5-8 in another suit, 3-6-9 in another suit. It's like all of your suits are bad, but we'll give you that 9-tile shape.
Yeah.
Ricci from Zhongyu waiting 2-so 5-so.
Not surprised.
No Sanchoku, but is Tanyao Ipeko.
It's like do you take the guaranteed Ipeko 3-4-5 double sequence, or do you hope for the 2-so win so that you can get the 2 Han instead of the guaranteed 1? You know what they say about the bird in the hand.
It's worth 2 on your foot.
Well, I mean,
how that goes?
I guess Xiangyu already discarded his bird, so maybe.
No birds anywhere. Why have birds? You know what? Birds are a nuisance.
Anya agrees. That goes.
everybody with one bird and discard.
Bird was not the word in this hand. Oh, the 5 suit
Boom.
comes out. And it's better Ishanten is found. That's going to be Richi, Piku, Ipe, Gotanyo, Amangan before Uda.
No, or
Suddenly Quinn has a target. Quinn
yeah, absolutely.
extremely pleased with that outcome. You know, if you're the only player below 30,000 points, you lose 20 points of UMA for your 4th place. If you get a 4th place with at least one other player below 30,000 with you, you only lose 15 points. So, at the very minimum, if you can't escape 4th, try to drag someone down into the depths with you.
Or in this case, just watch them fall on their own and be happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes there really isn't anything else you can do.
It looks like a nice hand shaping up for Quinn on the right there.
Yeah, might be able to take charge of this one. Already 2 away from Tempai with diamond shapes abounding in that hand.
2 away from Tenpai. Oh, Ishanten now for Shangyu. Lots of upgrades to that 1, 3, 4, 5, 6 shape in the So.
Yeah, we really want them to get Tanyo as well. Even if we have to open up our hand for it, getting a repeat here is pretty nice as dealer.
Yeah, I would certainly open for
G.
4 So, 5 So, or 7 So probably.
Hey, and take a look
I
at
mean,
this.
you could even open up for 2 So. Discard
TJ
1.
calls 5-pin. And we were discussing, you know, the variation of calling in his game plan. Here he's in 2nd place over 30k, so it seems like he's willing to open up even for the speculative Tanyo.
And his final dealership is passed, so maybe just trying to accelerate to the end here.
Yeah.
There's a gap from himself to 2nd place. A nice little, almost 13k gap. 12-9, but close enough.
It's nice to see the game plan in action. We'll see if it pans out here. Needs another 5-pin, although that 3 really helps.
Home.
Giving you pawn options. And now we have a Shan pawn wait for Shangyu.
3 Mon, 8-pin. Has 2 live in the wall. Both of them 3 Mon.
Let's see. Khan would be 16 Fu as opposed to 8 Fu. Uh-oh.
Just
Boom.
as TJ
There's
got
the
to
dealing.
Tempai, the 4-pin comes to hand. 1,000 points exchanges hands, and Xiangyu will still claim the lead going into South 3, but just over a Mongon difference now.
Mongon Sumo still okay to make up that difference. 5 pairs. Ishanten for Chitoy right off the bat here.
Yeah, I almost like cutting 5 so first,
Same.
just to give 22 outs.
Because we still have these draws too, right? Like 5 Mon is a great draw even if we don't end up Chitoy.
And here, does it look like Quinn's trying to force value? Oh, I wish we forced value. Our Chitoy Tempai.
Home.
Okay, maybe thinking about Toy Toy
Oh.
as the value route.
But it's a nice toy because this is a toy that you can just hedge as a Yakuhai. You get the tune and you can wait 5 Mon, 8 Mon, and if one of your unlikely pairs comes out, you can always accept it.
Yeah, South 3 is a round that has a lot of pressure attached to it, and Quinn
Home.
seems to be responding by aiming for speed here. This is Tempai, as you said, 5-8 Mon, not super live in the wall. In fact, only 2 tiles live in the wall. Both of them 8 Mon. But you can easily swap to Toy Toy if you draw 4 Mon, 6 Mon, or 7 Mon. And we can also call for those tiles as well.
None of those are being held in hand. There's 1 4 Mon across the way. All the rest. Oh, there it is.
Instant swap.
All right, now there's 2 4 Mon in hand. So only one. No, nothing. Nothing in the wall. No wall. Although that 6 Mon is a little loose in Shangyu's hand. Could, yeah, just a little loose over there. Could pretty easily come out according to how the draws come in.
Anticipate it coming out very soon, just because we can see where all of the attachments are. We can see where the 7 Mon are. We can see the 4 Mon. We can see all the 5 Mon. So it's unlikely for Xiangyu to be able to use that in his hand, and he'll likely attach to a different tile.
It's all about timing. This is one of those times where, say, like if Anya or TJ called Ricci, that might be the best possible thing for Xiangyu here, because that would probably lead to some sort of fold.
Here's the issue with that: 6 Mon is not Kasuchi if Anya slams a Ricci.
That's true.
And here, Xiang's getting a little punished for not holding on to that 6, so that actually is saving him from dealing in. I fear for. Okay, he dodges one more turn.
It feels like Shang Yu's got 9 lives this round.
Indeed, I mean, that 6 mon would have been out of my hand a long time ago. Maybe he's read that it's a Monzu weight and just doesn't want to drop it.
Hasn't dropped any Monzu, although hasn't drawn any either, so it's kind of hard to tell. Oh, there's the 8-mon Khan. That certainly makes that 6-mon look a lot better to drop and a lot worse to hold.
Okay.
Still
At this
doesn't.
point, Xiangyu has read that it's a Monzu weight.
Absolutely.
Saw that late 5-mon after 2 calls and says, I'm not cutting this anymore. And that's actually not a bad read given the fact that it was Atosuke to begin with.
Yeah, and the early 9-so call, yeah, like...
You usually don't make that type of call unless you're already fairly advanced in your hand. This is good reading, good defensive play from first place as well. Can anyone else get to Tempai before the end of the round? It's a door that's hard to push, so
Yeah, drops 4-pin.
Shang just collecting these Monzu. Another off tile for Anya. One more draw is not going to get there, and neither is... Actually, that is Tempai. If you drop them on 7-mon.
The
Declines.
3-mon was 100% safe.
Yeah. Everyone recognizing that the Monzu was bad here, and so it will go to Ryukyoku. Quinn taking over 3rd place.
And now it's a 200-point difference between 3rd and 4th. Although, again now, we have Anya in this situation of being last dealer and in a tight race with another player. And we have the South call early from Quinn.
We're a 6-mon. One's held by the dealer, one's held on the right. The others are in the wall. This looks like a very efficient hand for dealer to get a repeat.
Being able to call 2s is pretty nice. The issue with, say, like, the ability to pawn 4-mon or chi 5-mon is that Shang Yu's probably going to be Tempai if either of those sorts of tiles came out. In general.
Well, now you have to think a little bit. Do you just 3-pin and play the widest Ishantan? Shaku will instead play for the more pawn options.
And also keeping that 5-mon in hand too, the ability to be able to accept that 6-mon Dora.
G.
Quinn down.
Ishantan now for Quinn. Yep. Just non-Dora 1.
G.
Well, that's interesting from TJ. Actually willing to go back a Shantan here to try to aim for better shapes, but Quinn down to Tempai, waiting 1-4 pin.
3 1-pin in the wall.
That's the tile you'd think would come out.
I mean, nobody could use it. Not effectively, at least. Whoa.
Yeah, we see Shagyu again playing defensively here, not willing to drop anything dangerous. Recognizes the dealer Tempai.
Yeah, really protecting that first place.
But if you deal into a hidden pair of Dora here with the 3rd one in the call, that's 12,000 points, you're out. Could call that into Tempai, doesn't.
Oop, there's the 1.
Now we get to see if Xiangyu can maintain this defensive prowess. The 1-pin looks pretty safe here. 1 chance, one's cut.
That 7-so was a bit of a hedge. Oh, and it's actually going to come out over the East. Is the East live?
I think.
Toyman was also holding it. No,
just
it
came
has
out.
been discarded.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a miss there, and The one pin, again, did look very safe, didn't look dangerous, but let's get sniped for a 2,900 hand plus Homba.
Which the big winner there, really, I feel like, is TJ.
Yeah. Certainly Quinn not going to complain about gaining a little bit more of an advantage over third place and retaining the dealership, but yeah, TJ is looking at this as an opportunity to take over first now.
Quinn with one of the more awkward Dora shapes. Dora 2-pin, a part of a 1-1-2 shape. That 7-pin helps. Now the 2-pin can be considered attached to the 4.
Yeah, and the High Pie had so many of these awkward tiles to start with. Look, the Honor discard order paying off because we get to pair up the Chun and have a Yaku High pair.
And we are Ishanten. We can't just pawn and then be waiting on 3-pin.
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable to think about dropping this Dora if we upgrade around this 3-so. But I wonder if that will happen anyway upon drawing.
Or even like a 5-pin draw. Or 8-pin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, draw 8-pin. Are you gonna... Well, there it is. Can wait for a turn at least.
I mean, we have Itsu options, so there's some opportunity, even if we don't get the Chun, for some value. And then if we do see the Chun and we call, the question is, do you take the wide weight or the value? Oh my goodness, just have it
Wow.
all. Which weight do you take? Goes for the 3-sided Itsu weight. Could also try the Shabo, but I mean, it's hard to decline 3-sided with 9-pin Takame.
Yeah, especially as dealer, where even if you don't get the Itsu, Richi Sumo Dora is a nice little scoop.
I mean, this could be game-changing right here.
There's only 4 tiles left on the wall, though.
Dom.
Oh, but the 9-pin comes out!
There's just not a whole lot to defend. Look at that entire row of nothing but terminals and honors. And at terminal tile will deal in, or the monster hand. It's a Mongon.
Oh.
And just like that, it's Quinn who's thinking about first place.
I mean, Quinn was in last by a bit 4 hands ago.
Down at 18,000 points. You know what they say?
It has another decent high pie.
With the dealership, there's a chance. But is taking full advantage of the opportunity that the dealer repeats give you.
Ishanten on the left for Shangyu. Very early. No value to it, but Ishanten is Ishanten. When you're in first and it seems like dealer's on a rampage.
Yeah, really, at this point, you're saying, please, can anyone shut down the dealer? Ooh. Interesting, cutting the 1-so there. Not giving Itsu a dot.
Yeah, I was a little curious about that as well. Maybe wants to keep the 4-pin around to be able to get rid of one of the... What are they called? Terminal pairs. Yep, and there it is. We draw 5-pin, discard West, so now we can get a Pinfu.
Yeah,
we're
really,
not forced into having an Anko or a Champon.
I can never complain about someone hedging 2-3-4 Sanshoku.
I mean, could even get 3-4-5.
Yeah, after
it's
drawing
not out of the realm of
the sad 5-pin.
If you draw 5-so, you're still okay there.
5-so, 8-so, all excellent shifts into some extra value, perhaps.
5-pin, a great draw for Quinn. Still 2 Shanten though. But could start to think about opening to speed this up.
The question
4
of
Mon is an upgrade.
Maybe even 4, 5, 6. Oh wow, 7-so. That's actually a little inefficient.
I really expected 7 Mon.
Yeah, even 8-pin there. Oh, but there's the Richi from Xiangyu. Richi Pinhu getting 2-5 Mon. The question of the Dragon Door has been answered by a pair of discards. Oh. A single tear rolls down my cheek.
For the 2-3-4. 3 tiles left in the wall for Xiangyu.
How aggressive does TJ want to be here? Goes 9-so 9-so, the safer option.
Yeah, TJ in kind of an awkward spot. Like you
Gee.
could just kind of try and fold out a little bit, but again, we're not seeing there's not a whole lot of great fold tiles. I mean, there's only two non-terminal or honor discards in Shang Yu's pool. Oh no, there's three because the 7-pin, but
Yeah, TJ's just relying on terminals being saved, kind of like what Anya was forced to do in the last round. Fortunately, these ones don't deal in for TJ.
the 5-so is safe. So Quinn has ways to get to Tempai here without dealing in. 2-so is also confirmed safe. Anya discarded it on the right, on top of it already being Suji.
Yeah, it's tough to play defense here. Not a lot of information to step by.
And can discard 5-so safely. You only have to survive one more of their draws and one more discard.
That's safe enough. One chance.
I don't. That's a pretty flimsy one chance.
4-monk could come out. Yeah, it
Just
does. I think that was the safest tile in the hand. Nakatsuji to the Riichi, but that does not end up being safe to the dealer.
I mean, Anya has been punished for for good defensive play. Like, has just safest tile in hand happens to be the one that deals in either, or like it doesn't deal into the most dangerous person, but it deals into someone else.
Right.
Like, that's happened to Anya a few times this game. She was really rewarded for the defensive play last round, and it's just not paying off as well this round.
Yeah, gotta win something eventually. And if the hands just start
Gee.
coming to you, then it's a really slow game after that. And we've seen these hands for all the players, especially dealer, have been very fast. And so if you are not drawing very well, then you're going to end up on the defensive side.
And this is a very early, as you said, people don't tend to do the Atazuke calls unless they're close, and this is Ishanten for Quinn. Ooh, that 6-mon, such a good draw for Shang Yu. This could, it could be a 6-7-8 Sanshoku.
It could. It's actually very likely to.
Home.
I mean, the only draws that don't give you Tempai with the Sanchoku chance are, well, exactly the 3-so. But that 2-2-3-4-4 shape is extremely good when you are Ishan 10 and trying to decide what your pair is. I'm actually really surprised that he's willing to hold the tune here.
Three tiles left for Quinn here.
But that's a Tempai. It's not the one we wanted. And that's not what he's going to take.
There's that 3-so.
Yeah, but now we backfire. We're
A little
50-10.
late, but
Decides whether to take this 50-10 Riichi or not. Declines.
Home.
we do see Anya calling the Hatsu.
Just trying to make something happen here.
Home.
And things are happening. Only one away now.
Yeah, it's still safe south tile in hand.
Oh, that's not good.
Dum.
Man, Quinn has been on a rampage. 1,500 additional points. Plus,
From last to first.
yeah, plus the home block. Up to 5 now.
And I'm pretty sure all of those have been generated on this deal.
Hello, Dora pair.
Always good to see.
And looks like others will struggle to use the Dora, so this could be a really strong attempt at another 12,000 points plus 1,500. Oh, bye.
All right, so here's the question: are you as willing to Atazuke with the Dora pair?
I don't mind Atosuke with the Dora pair here because we've been doing it all game. At this point, the players are kind of expecting that from us. Now, I will say it's a little bit harder because we've cleared the east, the south, and the green dragon, and the white dragons come out without a call, so The only one left is the Chun. Because of that, I probably would not do it here.
A little too transparent.
Yeah. If we didn't have all of those, Yakuhai in our discards, I don't mind it. And you know what? Even if it's transparent,
I mean, it does
have to go.
keep people from building their hands. Yeah, like it really. If you know there's a tile that totally kills someone's hand if they draw it, that does have a type of power to it.
I'm curious. Okay, we'll have a little bit of a decision here. Maybe 5-mon, 5-mon, just to keep the 7-pin acceptance. Like, we've got 3 pairs when we draw that 9-pin, so I kind of like holding the pair that has a little bit extra immediate acceptance to it. The hand.
And there's the Otozuke.
And this is another good way to do the Otozuke because it looks like Tanya.
It's a little tricky.
It especially looks like Tanya when we're cutting 9-pin, 9-pin, 8-pin.
Who's waiting on... Oh, Xiongyu's Tenpai. Waiting on 7-pin.
Oh, that's problematic.
That is problematic. It took the 7-pin showing up red in someone's hand for me to even realize.
Each.
Oh, there it is. Riichi Tanyao. Got the good weight.
And now Quinn has to reconsider whether or not you're gonna jam the 7-pin.
This is an interesting situation though, because I feel like the 7-pin definitely comes out without the Riichi. And and gets the Ura.
That's actually massive now, Xiongyu back in the lead.
A Mongon a Mongon, regardless of how it's won, still gets Quinn first place though. So a Mongon Sumo or direct hit on Xiongyu is what TJ needs for first. So both Quinn and TJ gonna be searching out Mongon more than likely here.
And Quinn's got it. Quinn's got the pair of Dora. Riichi Tsumo Dora 2 will be enough. Of course, we always looked at Dealer. Anya's going to have to try to repeat as many times here as Quinn did.
And this is one of the worst Dealer high pie we've seen, unfortunately. It's all Kanchans.
Shapes
all
are
Kanchans
not
and pairs.
good.
I mean, this isn't even... You don't even really see a good path to opening this.
Tanya,
like, it takes a lot of force.
I mean, you've got 5 Tanya blocks.
Gee.
They're just so bad. All right, there it is.
Anya says, this is my best chance, and I'm inclined to agree, honestly.
Yeah, especially on turn 7. Like, you're still 3 away on turn 7. You know your shapes are slow. Like, you need an injection here.
You need 2 drawing pools or more. I might even be willing to call this 2-pin, even though it doesn't advance us in Shanten, really.
Yeah, maybe try to make people back off a little bit. Especially, like, Xiongyu. Like, is Xiongyu really going to push against an open Dealer hand? Even if there's no obvious value, like, is it worth the risk for the person in first?
Yeah, well, if Xiongyu draws into Suanko, certainly. Oh, that's Tenpai.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna slam the Riichi. Take this risk. The 7 is dead, so it only waits on the 2. Those are held. And Anya's in a desperate spot here. Basically just has to fight. I mean, you could say that I'm gonna get fourth no matter what. Maybe I just fold and hope that somebody else deals in. And I think that's probably not the right way to play this.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because you don't even have the guarantee that if someone does deal in, that hand's worth enough.
Right.
Like, that could just be reaching only. So even if someone does deal in, even if there is a sumo, there's no guarantee that it's going to be enough to benefit you. Like, I feel like you have to get Tenpai here at least. If you get Tenpai, then I feel like you can keep your Tenpai discarding the safest tiles possible. There it is.
And now Anya hopes to not draw Dora. I mean, she probably doesn't realize it yet. Certainly after drawing Dora and dealing in on the 2-mon. Wish you had
I would discard 2-mon without a second thought. It's Tsuji. Like, you were already going to push. You get extra value and discard Tsuji. Count me in.
Somehow Quinn has found Tenpai.
Oh, God.
Tempai while almost pseudo
Wait,
folding.
discarding 4 mon? Isn't this like 2 mon, three
You
mon,
can
5 mon, 6 mon
you
weight?
can discard 1 mon. You can discard the 4 mon for super wide weight, but that's Dora. Can will instead discard the
The
safe five
safe.
mon. Oh no! You have to deal in on the two.
Oh, that is I mean, but that's been and then two Ura. I mean,
Yeah,
that's been the story of Anya's entire game.
yeah.
Like that was an absolute cursed round for her, an incredible round for Shang Yu, especially with their position in the standings. This is going to be enough to bring Shang Yu into the positive.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great result for him. And as session 4 completes, and as the scores update, Xiangyu will be just barely in the positives, 1.5 above. Anya will dip down a bit. TJ with a 4.7 third place. Pretty rare to see. Well, I guess not too rare. We've got the floating Uma here, so anyone above 30k will get a positive score here. We'll climb up a little bit. And Quinn with a plus 10.2 makes up for the third place in the last game, right back into fifth place in the standings.
Yeah, real even results there for Quinn. Overall, I don't think that those two Hanchan really shook up the division that much.
Yeah, I mean, especially in the upper portion, Quinn stayed pretty much exactly where they were at the start of these two games, and no one dipped down into the relegation zone either. So the battle for that 16th spot in the standings, or rather 15th spot in the standings, still goes strong. But yeah, overall, the placements appear to be roughly about where they were when we started. One player up at the
But those
top, and
were
the rest of
two
them below.
really good games.
Oh
Like
yeah,
those, I feel like there was a lot of great play in both of those Hanchan. There weren't a lot of like we didn't necessarily always agree with all the decisions, but I feel like there were no. It's not like there were massive blunders or
no, not
anything.
at all.
Like
I
that
think
was good, solid mahjong.
the there are a couple of hands that players did a very good job of finding extra value. Specifically, I remember seeing multiple Itsu attempts where the extra floater tile that would give Itsu was held, and defensively, Shang Yu had a lot of moments where he just recognized the hand was Tenpai and folded. And Anya as well, especially in game one, did a good job of defending against all the hands that she could, and then fighting with one hand that she got to fight with, and it was a big one too, Baimon.
Euro 3 will do that.
Yeah, yeah, very well. Sanako a rare Yaku as well.
But all right, I believe that I am going to be replaced. I'm gonna have to step away, but Alex is going to be filling in. I'm pretty sure.
That's right. There is one more game scheduled tonight, and we're hoping that it will start pretty soon. We might give it a couple minutes, and if it doesn't pop up, might call it. But hoping for a start in the next few minutes. Thanks so much, Tucker, for hopping in. It's always a pleasure to do commentary with you.
Yes, absolutely. It was a great time. I hope that you all have a wonderful night.
Very good. And while we hold off for a couple minutes to see if that next game starts, let's take a quick little break. See you all in a few. All right, we are back, and well, we don't have a game lined up just yet. We're still waiting to get confirmation that they will be starting. I think we'll give it another 5 minutes, and if they haven't started by then, we'll go ahead and call it. But in the meantime, welcome, Alex.
Hey, how you all doing?
I saw. Are you finished all finished with your session 4 games?
Yes, I am, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, did they not go so well?
Well, it was kind of like a mishmash of, oh, I'm doing great, and now I'm not.
Well, let's take a look at what division you're in. You're in B3.
Three, yeah, E3.
Yeah, let's take a peek and
Okay, Jill.
see what the picture looks like for that division. I mean, it is end of session 4. It looks like most of the games have finished here. Maybe one, two tables still yet to play their games, but yeah, I'm seeing you right there, smack dab in the middle.
Yeah,
We always look at the standings and think about how many bonus promotion slots there are going to be, and typically in the lower divisions, the C divisions, the B3, there are a couple extra spots. So certainly being positive is goal number one if you're in any one of those divisions. Drew up at the top with 169.5, kind of more low scoring than the division has been in the past. Sometimes at this point you get people all the way up at 200, but Drew at 169, Noel at 160, Tara at 145, leading the pack here. The race for the fourth through, I don't know, 8 slots is pretty tight.
yeah, I could very much well jump into the picture if I have a couple of good games in my next session, but for me, it's just like, oh, that dealt in? Oh, I deal into an Ur 3 somehow? Oh, that's great.
Yeah, when they're hitting Uda 3, there's not a whole lot that you can do. Certainly,
It's like,
defense
okay,
is always a big question. Always a big point of study, though.
or I just deal into the part of their hand that has door 3 that's not shown, and I'm just like, oh great. It's like it's not much until I see or door 3 pop up on the screen when I deal in it, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, if you do end up staying in B3 for the next season, you will be playing the people who promoted from the C1 divisions. And there are some names there that I'm quite excited to watch continue to play in the league. But let's see, who's in. I think. I can't remember if she's in C1A or C1B. It's split into two groups. Laura's in C1B. I just pick her out of one of the many players. Take a look at the C1B group. Look at this from Zheang, plus 292.5 after 4 sessions.
Jeez.
Completely dominating 10 firsts, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, 0 fourths, live for the ladder award. And let me tell you, folks, the ladder award is something that I've been going for a long time. Every season I aim for it. And that is to complete an entire 24 game season without a single fourth place. It is hard. It may even be
Mhm.
harder than getting all the way up to A1 from
and
the
then
from the C
lasting
divisions.
10 and then lasting 10 seasons consecutively,
My goodness, this is
which I think you're
yeah,
which I think you're eligible for too.
yeah. At the end of this season, I'll have stayed there 10 seasons. But I mean, this is actually a good point for the newcomers to the division. Double promotions are enabled. We do see the double arrow for Zhejiang. As long as they remain above 240 points by the end of the season, will promote, skipping B3 and hopping into B2. For anyone else who promotes below that total, though, they'll be joining you in B3. Mark, Emily up there. Cliff will, assuming these promotions carry forward, and they typically do. Cliff looking for that promotion spot. Merlin as well, and Taliesin. Laura, Scott, Josh, all at the 60-point mark. So competition is fierce for those bonus promo spots. And there's sort of a
Yeah,
theme with.
I
Yeah,
wonder how it's going to break down with the two divisions. Like, how deep from each is it going to be? Assuming
yeah,
it's not going to be very. I'm assuming it's not going to be very deep. Like only 3 or 4 deep from each side.
yeah, because
Assuming.
if there's one bonus promotion spot, I assume it'll be shared between the two divisions. So like fourth place from C1A and fourth place from C1B will get it. I'm not 100% clear on whether it's just the highest total between the two divisions, or if it goes fourth place from that division, fourth place from the next division, fifth place from Division A, and then fifth place from Division B. I have to ask for clarification, but I believe that the latter is how that works. And maybe between the two spots, if it's an odd number, it goes to the person who scored higher. But yeah, that will be an interesting twist on the bonus promotion spots with this split group of players.
Mhm.
Speaking of C1A, let's take a look at that group. Max currently leading the pack there with a plus 204.2. And, statistically speaking, it's been the case that higher win rates are leading the division. But I know Max has a really defensive play style, and that's been panning out really well for him. Up at 204.2 points, very close to getting that double promotion if you can keep up the positive performance. Andrew, Alyssa,
Okay,
Charles, Junchen also close behind over 100 points.
look at like Andrew's defense, 11.6, and then the average is under 3K, which is actually really impressive
Yeah,
because that's like a 3 Han hand or less.
it's one thing to not deal into a lot of hands, but when you do deal in, it's like Hanemon, right? That will skew you in the negatives. But
Mm,
to not deal into many hands, and then when you do deal in, it be less than 3 Han on average is pretty nuts.
yeah.
It looks like Andrew still has one more session of games to play, but currently also vying for that ladder award with 0 fourth places.
Mm. That looks like he still has to play this session, so he's a lot of catch up to be made.
Well, we've seen everything from B2 down. Let's take a look at the last three divisions. Give me a player from B1. I can think of a couple.
Yeah, there's Jen and Garth
Yeah, that's what I was
right at
thinking
the
of. Right
top.
up at the top.
Our two GPML pros right there at the top.
Yeah, one
Oh,
and
but
two.
James not close behind.
James has been battling with both Jin and Garth. I think James just finished a series with Garth in it. Garth got the advantage between the two of them in that session, climbed all the way up to 189.5. Now, this is the first, rather not the first division, this is one of the B divisions where you cannot get a double promotion. So even if Garth were to finish over 240 points, would remain just moving up one spot into A2. I believe that would be Garth's first time in A2. I think Jen has been there before and she's eager to get back, also having a really strong season. Somehow has been climbing just about every season, has been in the positives. So I'm not surprised to see him uh, making it to A2 if he can continue this performance. Has been a ladder award winner. Speaking about that, 0 fourths.
Yeah, I mean, like Oliver Kay, I once played against, and then who else? Allen, I once played against, and Armel. There's a few names that I recognize on this list.
Yeah, Takahito and Kevin, both from my area. Kevin doing pretty well here, plus 61.3,
I think I might have played James maybe a couple of seasons ago too. So
representing that Colorado area. Yeah, I also see Kayla in seventh. She has been in A2 before, is looking to get back. That tends to happen with the experienced players who have been in the division a while. You tend to bounce back and forth between a couple of divisions. That's a really good sign that you can get back repeatedly to a division that you may have fallen out of before. And speaking of A2, let's hop there. player that represents HU. I've got Harrison in mind.
Oh yeah, Harrison. Yes.
Has been doing pretty well this season. Third place avoidance, good for sixth place, apparently. But it's Blake, Hadu,
Mhm.
Jay, Kevin, Barry. Those are the leaders right now of A2.
Although I am shocked to see Brian the first demote spot, our NAO Open winner.
Yeah, Brian, a very strong player. This season has had the misfortune of being cast at least twice. It seems that whenever I broadcast a game that features Brian, he gets really unlucky. I'm talking Dylan, Uda, San sort of stuff. Slam, Sanmenchan, Ricci, never Sumo. But definitely, with 2 sessions remaining, that relegation zone is still heavily contested. You never know what's going to happen in A2. Things always swing so rapidly in the final 2 sessions as well, so I'm hoping we get to catch even more games from here.
Yeah, with that snake ladder finish, I think from like B1 up,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
all these
B2's
upper
the last.
divisions. When you talk about the snake ladder, you're referring to the fact that the people who you play against in the final round, it depends on your placement going into after session 5. So one first place plays against 8th place, 15th place, and 16th place, and so on and so forth. 2, 7, 14, and 17 will be a table, and that leads to a scenario where every single player has something to compete for at those tables. Games are quite exciting.
Yeah, it's just always weird seeing it, like lower divisions. Like if I know that like three people are like, you know, it's always weird where I have like two people at my table who are fighting for promotion, and then two people who are fighting out of relegation.
Hmm.
It's just like I get into those weird games where like everybody has something to fight for. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's always a sweat for me.
Yeah, and
Like
that means it's exciting. Always exciting. Speaking of WRC World Ricci Championship slot winners, Kenyon is one of those as well. 2 U.S. players this year, both Kenyon and Brian, confirmed to be playing in the WRC without going through, like, earning special seats. Didn't need to qualify through their country's organizations. So, big congrats to those two. We saw them in the head-to-head in the last series. I think Kenyon got the edge in that series. And that's why she's up there at plus 61.8, looking to get right back into A1.
Yeah,
Speaking of A1, let's take a
that's
quick peek
just.
at that.
Oh, look at you, right
Now,
on
for now,
top.
Matthew has had a great performance to jump up to 146.3 second place, looking to win the session
Yeah,
A1 for the second time in a single year from January to December. No one's done that yet, so Matthew's hoping to be the first. And I don't know if you saw recently, Matthew recently won Shinroto Yakuman.
I was just about to mention that, but you beat me to
It
it.
was it was incredible.
that's that's crazy. I didn't get to see it, but that's crazy.
Actually, maybe now's a good opportunity to show it. I mean, we haven't had that game pop up, right? That we're looking for.
Hmm.
So let's do it. Let's
Yeah,
take a look at that hand because that was kind of unbelievable. Shinroto, all
yeah.
terminals, an extremely rare Yaku, and the way he
I'm
came
never
about it
quite
was nuts.
sure when to play for that because I've had a couple of terminal oncos and then maybe like a an off like a single copy of one or a pair of a third. And I'm like, do I really go for this? And it
The answer
seems
is
like
usually
yeah,
not, but let's take a look at how
it
Matthew did
seems
it.
like it seems like two oncos and two pairs is the absolute minimum you need. to have it, and that is not what happened.
Yeah, look at this. So it starts with three terminal pairs and then two terminal singletons. So that is enough to think about it. Pawn, and then you just need to draw a couple more tiles. Very quickly draws a singleton of another tile. So consider this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are only 6, terminal tiles in the game, and he's drawn at least one of all of them. But as of now, it looks kind of like a Kokushi attempt. Maybe a Junchan?
Uh-huh. Yeah, throws the 4 back.
And here makes the commitment that it's not Kokushi.
Boom.
Junchan is more likely.
Oh, and there's the first call.
リーチ
And now how about this?
Oh, early reach.
Turn 5
Oh.
Ricci. We'll see how he
So now you
dances
got
around.
that to think about too.
Tune is once cut.
There's the second one pin.
Now, at this point, we could be thinking about going for it all. I mean, we've got this Junchan, but 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. One's called. And you can just wait on the 9 pin or the one. So the problem is we've drawn this Dora. And it looks okay as a discard because of the early 4 pin and then the fact that there are 3 4 pins cut. But are you really going to trust cutting Dora against Dorichi? Not yet. We'll start with the safe.
I mean, in this view, it's definitely like one chance, because he's already cut a 4 pin himself, so
Yeah,
it's
and
realistically only a one chance.
now we see the final 4 pin come out. We're going to give up the 9 pin here, not necessarily committing. We have drawn all the pairs we need for the Akamon, though.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, 9 pin.
Oh, sorry, we have to throw this back.
ポン
And this is the decision.
There's the
Gets
pole,
last
and
one
this is
pin. And here,
this is still not there
yeah,
yet.
Ishan 10 trusting the Dora over the 2 so.
1
And just in time for
And
Son Uncle Tenpai on the right. Could have even held the Dama for Suwanko. Could have had 2 Yakuban Tenpais in the same hand.
dodge there.
2 so safe.
ポン
Uh-huh.
Yakuman
There's the
Tenpai.
pole. Now we're 10-5.
ロン
And there it is.
And there it is.
Incredible.
Wow.
And I'm
So just have 2 pairs and 2 singletons.
easy. Yeah, I'm sure you once the third call happened, all the Ricci players had to be sweating. There's no defense against this. But how in the world did it manage to get Tenpai without dealing into one of these hands? The answer was this player just happened to draw all the dealing tiles. Ason on the left.
I'm sure we can confirm whoever that was just by
Process of elimination. But
Ew.
regardless, fantastic hand by Matthew. He, of course, ended up winning this game and had a great follow-up game as well to jump up in the standings into second place in the division. So
Just get Yakuman to be competitive, yeah.
the battle rages on, though. Amy and Arthur Korak, third and fourth respectively in the standings, with something to say, with 8 games remaining, still doable. Lucas and Clinton following behind. Clinton will have a chance to knock me out of first place in the next session, so it's a good opportunity for him. And the relegation zone is tightly contested as well.
Look at that EV of 1203.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts this late in the season. When the wall wants you to win 30% of the time, it's hard to not have an EV that high, though. And, Matthew as well, with an incredibly high EV, doing it with his win average. Yakuman certainly helps, but also keeping that deal-in percentage really low as well. And that's one of the big things that you see here in this A1 division is up at the top. That deal-in percentage is ridiculously low. Look at Lucas, 6.7% deal-in, and when he does deal-in, it's less than 300 on average.
Yeah, and either you have to have like a crazy high win average Let's look at Dustin. 22.9 at 6,000 average, but he's dealing in 22% at 5,040, and yet he's only 12. What?
Yeah, Dustin also one of the players that benefited from a Yakuman earlier this season, a Kokushi Sumo as dealer for 48,000 points certainly helped his case out. He was in a little bit of trouble before that hand and has been hanging on throughout the remainder of the session. But
That's
as
the only thing that jumps out. Like, really, is just like how is that like not in relegation zone somehow?
yeah, I also want to shout out Christine, who had a really challenging first session and even second session, but has come back with positive performances in back-to-back sessions to give herself a chance to escape relegation zone. And we've seen her come back out of some really rough spots before. I recall an A2 season as well, where she had an incredible comeback performance, and she's looking to carry on that momentum. We'll only have one more session to do it, but with only 70 points gap, uh, getting a couple first places could be good enough for her to escape relegation with it in her first time in A1. So really promising stuff from her. A shout out also to David. His first time in A1 has had a pretty good season, plus 22.3 and a solid average win amount. He may only win 18% of the hands so far, but when he does win, it's usually a Mangan, and that's really his play style. So long as well similarly wants to win monster hands, right?
Tanya Dora 3.
Yeah, Tanya Dora 3, or just Richi. Richi Tsumo Pihu Tanya Dora. Yeah, but it's been a really exciting season so far on all divisions, and we only have two sessions remaining. It looks like our game is not gonna go live today, but that's okay. We got to look at the preview for the next session, and it should be a good one. I'm expecting that we'll actually have some bonus mahjong Tuesday night. I know usually we stream on Wednesdays, but Tuesday should be a really,
Well,
really interesting matchup. So look forward to that. And of course, we'll have our regular Wednesday broadcast as well. And so look forward to it. Session 5 should be exciting.
all right.
Thanks, Alex, for hopping in. Tucker as well earlier for that B2 matchup. For those of you who are interested in signing up for the American Ricci Mahjong League, it is open to U.S. residents or citizens, and you can check out AmericanRicci.org for the registration. It is open, I believe, until December 9th, so we're hitting that deadline. If you are able to schedule 4 games for Hanchan with 3 other players every 2 weeks, then and you want to play some relatively competitive mahjong, consider checking it out. AmericanRicci.org. Also visit us on our socials at American Ricci on Twitter and at American Ricci on YouTube as well to check out all of our broadcasts. Thanks again for tuning in. Sorry that we couldn't get that last game in for you. Was ended up being canceled tonight, but look forward to seeing more mahjong in the near future.